Knowledge is power. Power to do evil or to do good. Power itself is not evil, so knowledge itself is not evil. Our textbook discusses five sources of power and three sources of structural power. It states how important health professionals know the individual and organizational domains of power and the respective components. The five sources of power are cohesive, legitimate, referent, expert, and reward. Cohesive power involves a dependent relationship between the driving agent and the recipient of force. For example, a supervisor can constantly write up an employee for errors that are not documented in the job aid. Repeated errors can reflect the employee's ability to understand the process and progress within the department. The employee can perceive the supervisor having the power to control their advancement. Now, legitimate power is when an individual believes the use of power is just and right. Culture and environment shapes the power of agents to influence the recipient. If the employee in our previous example were a woman, depending on the supervisor's gender, feel that they had a right to initiate a corrective process for their errors. Now, in referent power, the person feels a level of respect for the driving agent and desires to please them. If the employee always speaks highly and admires the supervisor, their receiving correction action may be warranted. Expert power derives from the recipient's perception of knowledge possessed by the driving agent. Because the supervisor obtained their master's degree and the extensive experience within the company, the employee accepts the correction active due to the lack of knowledge. The fifth source of power is reward power. Now, this power provides an incentive for the person on the receiving end of influence to change his or her behavior, expecting to receive award or recognition. Now, the supervisor promises the employee if the errors are eliminated, the employee can advance to the next level within the department. Structural power bases are aligned to three different types of power: resource, information, and decision. Resource power relates to the greater amount of resources an individual manager or executive controls in proportion to the organization's total resources. Now, decision power is related to an individual's level of authority within the organization and can be a source of power for staff members who are influenced by this decision maker. Information power is when information is highly desired by others and is closely held otherwise difficult to obtain. So, in our example, the supervisors could possess all the resources of the structural power. All of this power can lead to many people playing political games within an organization. In our text, Henry Mintzberg developed an elaborate model of organization 13 behaviors as a series of political game, and players that represent different external and internal interests, groups seeking to control the organization's decisions and actions. I can relate to Mintzberg's power game organizational behavior, Rival Campus. In 2015, my company merged with another healthcare organization. Our Medicare departments transitioned to the new company during the merger. This caused great stress on our teams conforming to new ideas and processes. The two companies' employees became negative and disconnected. Medicare ultimately sanctioned our business and removed our ability to accept enrollment. I believe if we avoided following Mintzberg's game rival camp, our merger could avoid unnecessary challenges. Conventional wisdom holds that leaders should have behaved in a supportive and positive manner. Yet, the past decade has also been a rise in naysayers, ascents to power. Eileen Cho investigated the intriguing possibility that although we may want our leaders to be cheerleaders, we instead empower naysayers. Please don't be a naysayer.